Hi, and welcome to the Ranch Sitdown. Our guest today, Gage Gardiner.
This is Red Hills. The grass glows green as the sun peeks out. Barbed wire sing from a cottonwood stage. Remind me why I headed south, 'cause I see blessed hills from a previous page. You lose sight of what life ought to be in these gritty towns and suburb hells. Take me back to prairies that wave like the sea, uninterrupted horizon where I found myself. Where the wind wears wings, I'll stay. Lord, blow my sins away. I'm going back to where life made a little more sense. Let the clean air and blessed rain wash away my offense. Getting back to who I was when I was on that old heartland buzz. Drink the freedom in until I get my fill. Take me back to those red hills. Let the creek write the lyrics so sweet and strange, while the coyote winds out to the moon. And I'll join and let the melody arrange, and we'll make a little prairie tune where the stars are the only glow. I'll put on one hell of a show. I'm going back to where life made a little more sense. Let the clean air and blessed rain wash away my offense. I'm getting back to who I was when I was on my old heartland buzz. Let the music run through the plains and give me chills. God bless those old red hills. These hills will always be my home, but I pray I won't enjoy them alone. Leave that noisy world and be free. Quiet your mind out here with me. Now I'll take you back to where life makes a lot more sense. Let the clean air and blessed rain wash away all offense. And lose yourself tonight because you're spinning on my heartland bus. Find peace in the painted sky, so good it kills. Paradise in these red hills. In these red hills.
Holy cow. His name is Gage Gardiner. He is going to be the guy that opens up the Ranch music series.
Yes, sir.
No pressure at all, just the first act.
Yeah, just the first one in front
The
of
first ever act
Yeah.
of the year, yeah. April 3rd, Rusty Nickel Icehouse in Fort Worth, man. First of all, thank you so much for agreeing to do that.
Absolutely.
Very excited to have you on there. We always like to, have some established folks and then those folks that we see making the next level real quick, and we try to get you early before you get to the point where we can't afford you to have our shows. That's kind of the goal of that deal.
I mean, it's a real honor. I love Rusty Nickel, and I've listened to the Ranch for years, and so to be able to put those two loves together and so close to where I go to school, I'm really honored to do it, and just it's been a real blessing for me.
Gage is a TCU guy.
I am, yes, sir.
You're still in school?
Yeah, I got one semester left.
One left.
We're like a few weeks out from graduation, and
oh my gosh,
so it's getting more real, more and more real every day.
It's becoming real, yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you? What's your major, Gage?
Communications, but
You want to come work here?
I mean, if you want me to.
Yeah, come on. He's in.
If you come in and hire me,
right?
but
wait, you wanted to make money though.
Yeah.
So maybe radio's not your thing.
Well, I mean, if I'm trying to make money, music ain't my thing either. Right now, we're playing shows for free at this point.
Right. Well, you got to get your name out there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're doing the exposure gigs now.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thrill of it is like, you can do shows for money and stuff like that, but doing shows where you may not make a lot of money, but if it's like a real good show, good crowd, that's better than any kind of paycheck for me.
It feels good on those shows where you're like, oh God, here I go again. I'm not going to make anything. But then you see somebody get it in the crowd, and it's like,
sir.
all right, I'm onto something.
We had a really cool gig over in the basement bar in the Stockyards.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really fun because my brother and all his friends were there. So for him to see me in that element where like I'm at my happiest,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was great because one, we packed the house. It was just so loud.
Awesome.
But we finished out with like Lady May,
Mm-hmm.
and we had everyone with the flashlights up and everyone singing along. And it's those moments I took a step back from the mic. I was like, this is real. This is like what it's all about.
Just kind of overwhelms you for
absolutely.
a second, I bet.
Yeah, it was just really, real special.
That is super cool. So you're going to school, you're doing music. You find it hard to juggle both of those things? It's got to be a lot on your plate.
I mean, a little bit. The thing that keeps me going is just the chase of one more gig, one more what's the next thing,
Mm-hmm.
and music is such a enrichment of my life that
Mm-hmm.
I don't find it hard to juggle that with school. I find it hard to juggle school with music. That's kind of like it's like my back half. Like,
right.
If I wasn't in my senior year and wasn't almost done, I mean, I would have loved to just drop out and just go head onto this music thing.
Mm-hmm.
My mom would probably have my head, so I can't really do that.
Well, let's be honest. You do well on a paper, you're not getting a standing ovation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's overwhelming at times, but the pursuit of music for me is well worth the later nights and late assignments I have to turn in. So I don't find it too hard.
Now, I don't know if you had this conversation with your parents yet or not, so let's ask this right up front and have it on tape. Do you see this as a career?
Yes,
Music
sir.
is your career?
It's where I feel like God wants me. I have a real passion in my heart for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I've looked at it from every angle because, I mean, obviously, I've got guys who are friends of mine who are in the business school and stuff like that, and who are going to be going off and they have jobs right out of college and they have internships, all this kind of stuff. And I know that that's not where I want to be in life. I cannot see myself behind a cubicle or in a computer on a chair and working numbers for the rest of my life. And music is where I feel happiest. It's where I want to be, in any capacity whatsoever. But performing is where I feel really happy. And the way I've looked at it is if I do this for, say, 5 years and I give it my absolute everything and it still isn't working, I can look back on in 10 years and say, I gave that my everything and I'm not going to regret it. Versus if I didn't try it and I still had this desire in my heart, I think I'd regret it for the rest of my life.
When you're 50 and thinking, God, what if?
Yeah.
What if? Even if it does fail, let's say it does, at least you gave it a shot.
Oh, yeah. That's
a huge thing.
That's my philosophy about really everything in life, but especially music is you can try it as long as you have to. And if it doesn't work out, you can say you did try. And there's certain artists nowadays who are really inspiring to me, especially so Zach Taub just played Houston, Houston Rodeo, and he was talking about how 2 years ago to that day he was playing in some town in Alabama where he sold 12 tickets. Yeah. And 2 years later he's playing 70,000 in Houston. And so seeing that, it's just like doing things like this, doing the gigs where you may not get paid a lot, doing the gigs where not a lot of people are there. If you stick to it, you put in that work, you do, you grit your teeth and you get through it, there's always that chance that you can make it, that you can, hit that big time. And whatever that hit that big time is, I'm here for it.
It's wild to hear stories like that. You were talking about, the song Lady May, Tyler Childers, when you talked about that moment, reminded me of the time he played Magnolia Motor Lounge and there was like 9 people there.
Yeah.
And like now the guy's selling out arenas. And Jack Ingram tells a story about how he once had to do a gig at a Walmart inside the women's clothing section on a step stool. I mean, it's like, it's crazy where these guys start, but that's the thing is like you got to get out there and you got to get in front of people, and you never know who's in that crowd that's going to make a difference in your life.
Absolutely. It's a matter of, doing as much as you can and just getting out there wherever you can, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And there's so many artists who I respect who have done that, who just put, nose to the grindstone and did the hard things and did the crappy gigs, and now they're where they're at now.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you don't do music, if you weren't going to do music, what do you think your job would have been?
Something in probably agriculture. I grew up on a ranch.
Okay, out in Whitesboro? Was that where it was?
No, sir. So I grew up in Kansas, which is actually it's what I wrote Red Hills about. Was growing up in that rural environment. So I grew up in a town of like 300 people.
Oh my God.
On a cattle ranch out there. And I love that I'm down here in Texas, and I'm grateful for it. There's just times where you spend too much time in a city, for me at least, and I miss that simplicity of being out in the country where, there's not skyscrapers everywhere, and it's actual uninterrupted horizon and beautiful scenery that I can just kind of breathe in and not feel, on top of everything. So if I wasn't doing music, I would love to work either with horses or work on a ranch somewhere. And if I wasn't doing that, I don't know, I'd probably be a hermit up in Wyoming. That's the plan. That's what I tell everybody is that this doesn't work out. I'm, buying 10 acres in Wyoming, building a log cabin, and spending the rest of my life
living off the land
out there.
Yeah. How funny. So what got you into music?
I've been in music most of my life. My parents are very musical people. Our family's just very musical. My dad actually went to Nashville after he graduated college, and he spent, I think, 5 years out there trying to make it in the music business. And he had a manager, and he had CDs and cassettes with his music on them. But my dad's name is Garth, and at the time, Garth Brooks was real big.
Right.
So he had to change his name to Garrett Gardiner. And he had a whole thing, and he always talked about how it was a enriching experience and eye-opening for him, but that he just couldn't hold on that much longer, and that he didn't. He encouraged me a lot because he tells me, like, you got to have that tough skin. Some people are going to tell you no. You're going to hear a lot more yeses a lot more no's than yeses.
Oh yeah.
But he encourages me all the time about how I can just keep on keeping on. Really, just put my full heart into this thing, and you have to kind of go through the hard times to get to the good ones. And so he encourages me and helps me out a lot in that regard. But I mean, me and my siblings have been singing in church since we were kids. I've always been a musical kind of guy. My brother was more sports related, so I kind of took that part of myself from the family. But I mean, music's always just been something that has drawn me closer to, I truly do believe closer to God. It's where I feel happiest in life.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
It's a great story. So who are some of your favorites that you like to listen to?
Chris Stapleton is.
Wow, that was quick.
Yeah.
I mean, like.
Yeah. I mean, he has been my biggest inspiration for really how I am as an artist now.
Really?
Who I am as an artist now is so much due to Chris Stapleton's music. The way that he sings with so much power, but also takes that power away for a lot of his songs. His tone it isn't something that I copy, but it's something that it made me realize how much intonation and tone matters in a voice. The way he writes is also especially is something that really influenced who I am as an artist and how I write. But he's like the big inspiration. I mean, obviously you have like people like Garth Brooks, Alan Jackson, who are the big like Texas influences. More contemporary ones, probably Tyler Childers. Obviously, he's been doing this for a while, and when I was a teenager, he was really a big inspiration for me. And a lot of people like his earlier stuff. I like some of his later stuff. The Can I Take My Hounds to Heaven album. Really like that one.
Pretty wild, wasn't it?
Yeah, I loved it. And he was one of the first artists I saw at a music festival. It was
really?
Yeah, fascinating.
Boy, that'll life change you right there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
There's Two Step In Austin, and he was headlining with actually Zach Bryan. But I like Zach Bryan, but his way of writing wasn't compatible with who I was as a person. And Tyler was really influential for me. And the live at I think it was Red Barn album.
Yeah,
that one was really influential as well. And then and nowadays, Red Clay Strays is very near and dear to my heart. Their stuff is really, really cool. And also Charles Wesley Godwin.
Yep.
He's one of those guys who I wish he was bigger, because his way of writing and his voice is so genuine.
It blows you away that he's not.
Right?
Like, I don't understand it.
Yeah, he's just so...
There's some that are big, and I'm like, huh?
Yeah. No, I completely
No offense
agree.
to anybody, but there's some
out
sometimes you
there,
question the deal.
Yeah, there's some out there, they're just like, really, that guy?
Like, really?
This one?
Over Charles?
Oh, yeah. He's such a... I saw him at actually Two Step when he was on tour with Zach Bryan. And then I saw him again when he came to town for Billy Bob's. And he sold it out. And the way he puts on a show is really cool. Like, he's a performer on top of the fact that he's a really amazing songwriter.
Absolutely is. What's been, Gage Gardiner, what's been the most memorable moment in your music career so far?
Oh, man. There's been a few in these past few years. Speaking of like the Ranch Music Series at Rusty, Rusty Nickel was my first ever like full band gig. And that
was it really?
Yeah. It was, I think 2 years ago or 2 years ago or a year and a half ago. I played there for the first time, and I'm in a fraternity over at TCU, and a bunch of my fraternity brothers came up, and that was the first time, that they got to really...
Big moment. It was like a rock and roll moment right there.
But that was the first time they really got to see me in that element and that part of myself.
So they've probably seen you sitting around on a couch with a guitar. And
they've seen it like, oh, Gage plays music, but now it's like, no, Gage is a musician for the first time. And then another one was just, recently what I talked about at Basement Bar, this gig where my brother was in the crowd, and him and all his friends who've seen me grow up, and I'm basically their little brother at this point. They saw me really as the musician I want to be, with this crowd that was singing along to all the songs we were singing.
Oh, wow.
So into it. And it was moments like those that really stick with me and encourage me to, like, when there are hard times and when I am sort of frustrated, I just think back to those moments. It's like, okay, I want more of that.
Yeah.
I want more of that in my life.
That's those moments you want to attain every night. Absolutely. Well, Gage, how about one more song?
Absolutely.
You mind? Tell us what we're going to hear here, sir.
So this one, it's a Ranch exclusive, because I haven't even cut this yet. It's one that I wrote, I think a little over a month ago. And I was a team roper in high school. I did rodeo, and I'm a fraternity man up at TCU. And there's and in those fields you meet a lot of people. You meet a lot of women, especially. And there's some women you meet nowadays who you shouldn't talk to. You shouldn't be messing around with them, but you can't help it, and you can't really say no to them. And then when you wake up in the morning, you just have this that deep feeling of regret that it just socks you in your gut, and you're just praying for forgiveness, and that's what I kind of wrote this song about. So it's called Sweet Forgiveness.
All right.
In that pretty red dress, she knows I'll see, with that silver tongue speaking sweet to me. Well, she knows she'll lure me down tonight. Little devil's got a smile bright as neon lights. You knew I was weak when she walked in, eternal as the sun and pretty as sand. Through the smoke she blows, who can see the lies? Little devil with her shiny hazel eyes. Oh, Father, please forgive me, 'cause I just got burned again. Won't you save me from this hell that I'm trapped in? Little devil caught me on my heels. Now I'm on my knees for this. Another Sunday praying sweet forgiveness. I know the fate I'll face if I stay, left behind on the coming of Judgment Day. Well, save me, Lord, I beg and plead. Little devil's got her horns in me. Oh, Father, please forgive me, 'cause I just got burned again. Won't you save me from this hell that I'm trapped in? Little devil caught me on my heels. Now I'm on my knees for this. Another Sunday praying sweet forgiveness. Oh, 6 times she's lured me, 6 times she's loved, and 6 times she's left me to my grave. So I'm praying, please forgive me, 'cause I just got burned again. Won't you save me from this hell that I'm trapped in? Little devil caught me on my heels. Now I'm on my knees for this. Another Sunday praying sweet forgiveness. Another Sunday praying sweet forgiveness.
Brand new song he writes a month ago, and it sounds fantastic. Very nice. Gage Gardiner, again, going to open up the Ranch Music Series on April 3rd, playing right before Josh Ward. You get to play in front of a Texas music legend as well.
I know.
Sorry to add the pressure to you there.
Yeah,
but
no pressure on that one either.
Yeah, absolutely. So, man, I really appreciate you taking the time to chat with us today. It's been an honor. Cannot wait to see you in the big show on April 3rd at the Rusty Nickel Icehouse. And, well, go Frogs.
Absolutely, go Frogs. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Gage.